Hi, Luminaires. How is everybody doing? You doing okay? Sending you big love. Sending every single living person some major big love. My name is Jamie Butler. If you are new to the channel, I am hanging out on my front yard. It is a beautiful Sunday in Atlanta, Georgia. I have been doing my best to stay away from news, which is traditional for me, as well as social media, articles, radio. I can already feel in the air this kind of pulse or tension. And I have a special guest who's calling in. And it's been really interesting. Hi, Genevieve.
Hi.
Hi, can you guys hear Genevieve? Send me a little heart if you can hear Genevieve. Genevieve, we're on YouTube.
That's amazing.
Are you okay?
I love it.
I was just sharing that the last few days, probably since Thursday, there's been a feeling in the air that is almost electric or sticky. And my heart has been extremely heavy. And I thought it was just stuff that I was going through with letting go of half of the center, which possibly might be the entire center. I had a meditation with Charles, as you guys know, and I didn't share a lot of the information. And Charles was pretty much saying I need to let go of the whole thing. And that was a blow to my heart. So I thought I was processing that. And Friday's news came, and people in Minnesota with the incidences, and it just sickened me. Saturday, I still felt it, and I'm like, why can't I move this? Just more and more. And Atlanta's gatherings and riots, and now here we are again, and we're on curfew tonight here in Atlanta for safety. Angela, my heart goes out to you. Minnesota, my favorite accents. Genevieve, can you do a Minnesotan accent?
Can
you do it?
But I have these friends that live in Minnesota, and they do these Instagram live. They pretend they're like Minnesota church moms, and they're like, "Don't you know? Have some coffee. Don't you know?" It's like this hysterical thing. Oh man,
I love it so much.
Yeah, I feel you there.
Well, Susie B is saying hi, and it's definitely a tough time to move. Chiara from Italy is here. Ed Gonzalez from Lakeland, hi. Yay. Emma, lots of love from the UK. Hi, Stacy in Seattle. Shelly Ham, you've been thinking about my family. We're all doing very well here, but I will say energetically, I feel like the earth is tilted on its axis. But this is indeed something that was not really mentioned specifically it was going to happen, but in the energy forecast, it comes to relationships, dealing with deep emotional wounds in May, and then coming into June for relationships. As you saw in the trailer, Genevieve texted me, she was like, "What? Where's the fool?" And I was like, "I'll post it for you." The Azores. Cosmin lives in the Azores. I love the Azores so much. My husband and I went there, and that was the place that I acknowledged that I fell in love with him. We stayed on the main island, and we were in a old church, monastery. Thank you. And I looked at him, and I was like, "Okay, I think I love you. That's it." It was very cute. So Genevieve,
have you told the Luminaires your story of how you guys got together? It's the most romantic out of the movie. Every time I hear it, I start crying.
I don't think I have shared my "How did I fall in love" story.
It's so beautiful.
Thank you.
Not that you have to now, but maybe for another time. But it's an amazing story.
Thank you for thinking it's beautiful.
Yeah, of course.
I'd love to talk about something if you don't mind, Genevieve, that relates to kind of the feeling in the air. And I was just talking with my neighbors, and they're African American, and I just looked at them and I asked, I was like, how are you doing? Like, what does it feel like? And I would do this with anybody, regardless of the color of the skin, because I'm not you, I'm me. Even though we're made of the same energy, I check in with people like, how are you doing? But I was curious to know, because the feeling here in Atlanta is so diverse right now. I have Caucasian friends that are stating they don't want to go to certain places because they don't know what the vibe is there, and they don't want to, they're overly cautious about pushing some point or line. And there is a part of that I understand and respect, but another part of that is, if we behave that way, aren't we just contributing? Aren't we just contributing to the same, like, ill communication? I mean, can't we be? I just want everybody to love each other. I don't even know how to say it, but I asked my neighbors, I was like, how can I show up and participate to a solution without being in harm's way and not being so passive that I'm just like, well, that's happening over there. And that was happening in Minnesota, and that's going over there. And I didn't know that person or that group or that. And so, they're not real to me. Like, because energetically it feels, God, I want to use the word devastating. That might be too big, but it just feels rotten what's happening.
Yes, it's not personal, but it feels personal, meaning like you don't know the families, but I think energetically you are feeling that, because we believe we all are sharing one heart energetically. So it's hard to not. It's palpable, the vibe.
Yeah, Ed Gonzalez was adding to it. He was like, too many people are living in fear.
Yeah.
So he said he's in Lakeland helping people releasing heavy energies, especially ones with relationships, which is really important right now. But it is like, how do we show up and not just be passive? So I took a moment to ask the guides. And of course, we hear a lot of birds right now, but a lot of messages that say, heal the earth, send energy to the earth, send energy, send energy, send energy. And I don't mind that. I love that part. But I also love showing up. So I would love to start a conversation, Luminaires, and connect with you guys and see how maybe you're showing up, and educate me, maybe show me some new ways. Connie O said, nope, you're right. The exact word is devastating. So what do you do, Genevieve?
So yesterday I actually, in my morning meditation, I asked my guides the same thing. I really was at a loss. And so I said, please enlighten me here. What can I do? I feel helpless. I don't know what to say. And in the meditation, my brother, who passed away many years ago, he actually came to me and he said, he was like standing on top of the world with his arms open wide. And he said, I belong. I finally belong. And for me, it had a lot of personal messages. But when I came out of the meditation, I put two and two together. And he lived a life of like always being, he was different. And so he just didn't feel accepted. And he didn't feel like he belonged. He quit school at a young age. And anyway, the bottom line is everybody just wants to feel like they belong and that they're loved and accepted for just being themselves. And so I said, well, we kind of know that, but what can I do to take that a step further? And then I realized that the only way I can do that is by, educating my children by example, not just like, let me tell them, oh, that person has a different color skin. It's okay. You don't have to have fear or treat them any differently. I'm the one that has to show that to them. And I felt like that was the light bulb for me. Like personally, that's how I can contribute to this trauma. And of course, at the end of the meditation, I was just like, thank you to my brother, because I feel like he really helped me out there.
It's super, super sweet. Laura Boone is calling in.
Laura Boone!
We should do it where we
Boone.
take live calls and stuff. That would be super fun. Jamie says she's been meditating multiple times too and hugged the earth multiple times. Carolyn saying it's also to be the energy, like hold the love in your body. I like that a lot. I'll just hold it.
Beautiful.
Kiara is saying, I thank George Floyd for his sacrifice in this working for peace. I really like that wording. I was showing a lot of gratitude for him as well this morning. It was heavy. Uh-oh. My cat's on a leash right next to the camera and is looking for the bird that just flew overhead. Uh-oh. It's not going to go well. Wendy says, can't stop tears. Just impacted. Annette, the light is coming through. Such a dynamic time. We are connected. These talkings help a lot to share. I do. I would love to have a platform where we share more, because this is not like, I'm not the teacher coming in here going, this is what I know and this is how I'm, like, no, I'm a person. I'm managing it right now. And it's delicate because I feel like every word, do you feel like this, Genevieve? Like every word, not maybe every, the majority of the words I use to help explain where I'm coming from, they're just not the right ones, but they're the ones I have.
Like, yeah, I love how you phrase stuff like that. Like, I'm gonna say a lot of words and explain something that might be uncomfortable or difficult, but they might not be the right words, but it's the best of your ability. And if you're doing your best, then that's all you can give.
Getting a lot of comments on meditation. Christine says, I think doing inner healing work and looking at our own inner biases, whether it's racism, judgment, etc., can help. I love that. Absolutely. Being able to really see what our biases are, even through what we've been taught or trained. And that goes for everybody across the board. I mean, our parents and our family structure does our best to offer us what they think is the best life, or maybe they're doing the best with what they have. Yeah. And then here we are as an adult, kind of leaning on our childhood and what we've learned, and it might not be supporting us anymore. Sandra Ludiva. Maybe I said it right. I'm not easily managing it. I feel angry one minute at the injustice and crying the next. God, I wish you were here. I'd hug you. Like I was telling my husband, you know what I really want to do? I want to go and just have a sign that says free hugs. I'll hold you. Like I will hold you. That's what I want to do. And then that's like the thing we can't do right now. Not touching. Like my free hug, I will hold you sign will look like I'm trying to share a disease with you. Like, how? I can't touch you? Miss Chris says, breaking that cycle and realizing that we are in trauma cycles is hard. It's probably what you meant. Music and happiness. Music makes you happy, Jamie. Maybe we need to drive around and play music. But not everybody's going to like the same music. And then you're imposing on my ears. Like there's all this righteousness happening. It's like I think we forgot that we can have. Is that going to be helpful? Oh, my connection is unstable. My son is probably up playing video games now. Here we go. The Radical Acceptance book. If you haven't read it yet, please grab it, put it on your list to do. But there is room for us to have complete acceptance for everybody's uniqueness and be able to be in harmony with it. That's actually doable. But it's not doable when we hold on to the old paradigm of right and wrong, yes and no, reward and punishment. And so when somebody does something wrong in one area, that we decide, well, we have to show up and push that back on you to show you how it feels, that we have to rise to that occasion. Like I told Malou, and Genevieve, your hope may be too little for this yet to like be asking the questions of what's going on. But I don't know, she's smart as a whip too. But
yeah, she's really smart.
So, but Malou was just sitting there like, well, why? Like they have a right in the riots to voice their opinion and to show what's happening. I was like, absolutely. I do agree. We have a right to do that, to voice our opinions. I go, but what if your brother came to you and you were having an argument and you hit him on the shoulder, and then you said to him, don't you dare hit me back, and he hits you back? Why would you feel like he had the right to hit you back? Like, can you see it from his eyes that what you did initially and his response, like the training of an eye for an eye? I said it more gracefully to her than what I'm doing right now. That's my cat Panda. Hey, Panda. That if you respond back with the same aggression, you're just feeding it the vibration that it needs to get bigger. If you were to feed it something different, you could break its cycle. If you fed it love, if you stepped back after you were hit and you chose not to hit him back, or whichever vice versa way it was, then you could possibly have a relationship with your brother where there's no more hitting. And you could find different ways to create resolution. She was like, oh, okay, I get that. I said, yes. I go, let me remind you of one of my favorite quotes from Martin Luther King. I think my kids are tired of hearing. Or Gandhi. Do you ever bring somebody up all the time, Eve, in your family?
Yeah, you. I'll say to John, well, I learned this from Jamie. Jamie says this.
It's awesome. That was an unexpected answer.
Yeah, he's like, yes, it's Jamie again, right? I'm only like half joking, but I hear you. I hear what you're saying.
Yes, that darkness cannot drive out the darkness. Only light can drown out the darkness. That hate.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say that quote reminds me what you're saying about not hitting back. When you don't judge, you open up a space for another reaction. And possibly, like one, like you said, that leads to resolution as opposed to just pounding upon pounding.
Yeah.
It's that space that we need where we have time to think and not react.
I can see too people feel the call to be loud and abrasive so that they can get an instant see me, hear me, because then that's huge.
They're having a righteous tantrum, I just think of it like when Hope, she is only 2.5, when she doesn't understand why she's not getting what she wants in that moment, she just gets louder and louder and louder. And it kind of feels like that, like in a sense that it doesn't make sense why there's such abuse and just absolutely horrendous action on some people's part. And so I completely understand why people are getting louder and louder.
I love it. Listen to some of this. Wendy Nielsen, I want to be seen as loving all races. Isn't that great? I'm going to start writing that down. Emma says, I keep thinking of what Liam said, who do you want to be? I do remember this. I did watch that. Who do
And you
want
know
to
what
be?
else Liam said?
What?
He said that you don't need others' approval for harmony. You need love. So do away with the judgment. We don't need everybody to agree and approve. You just need to show love.
Yeah. Yes, that's the whole point of the radical acceptance. Accepting.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Susan W. says, I agree. I just can't be okay with the looting and devastating lives. But when I speak that, I get labeled. Right. All the labeling is part of the judgment. Well, the definition of whatever the label is part of the judgment or deep opinions. Hi, Pamela Harrison. Sarah Hoffman. Hi. Let's see. Susie B says, I believe that the occurrences that are happening keep showing up because we're not getting to the root of the problem and take drastic, serious measured to the end of this. Oh, so Susie, you're ready to this one and get it over with? Not put a pin on it to save it, but to complete it. I agree, Christine. All humans want to matter and be heard. Yes, all life. I remember there was something Maitland said was that there was two things she said that tickled me. When multidimensional beings start showing up, we're going to be looking at each other and going, oh, it doesn't matter. Get over here, human being. What the hell? My connection is again. And then another thing she said is, you know, we've been on this kind of human rights thing and animal rights thing, protecting animals. And she goes, we're going to dive into a plant rights thing where we're going to be able to communicate with plants and we're going to understand their intelligence. And then we're going to realize, what the hell were we thinking, being so egocentric as humans? We have all this other life intelligence around us that we're going to start wanting to preserve it. And I was like, God, those are really two cool things that I'm putting in my back pocket waiting for this to happen. Vlad said, oh, what away. Hi, Jamie. Thank you for opening this dialogue. Oh, I guess I am opening the dialogue, huh? I didn't realize I wasn't so prepared. I didn't really have an agenda. I just wanted to know how you guys are doing and share a little bit.
Jamie, I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you think, you know how you said in the beginning we weren't really like forewarned about this, but do you think that when we were told about this great divide coming, that this is just part of it? I feel like
yes,
Maitland or somebody said that maybe a month ago that the divide is going to get even more apparent.
Yes, and it wasn't going to be based on, right? It wasn't going to be based on money, nor economics or status. It was going to be based on like love and compassion and raising your vibrations versus I don't want to raise my vibrations and I want to be in this duality world of right and wrong and yes and no, right? Wasn't that the whole gist of it?
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, this could be the beginning of us seeing, you know, the beginning of it. Seeing.
Yeah, and also, go ahead.
No.
I was going to say it's also speaking along the lines of how we're opening our eyes to the government and like, I guess, enforcement that we're supposed to trust. Now we're actually opening our eyes and going, you know what, I'm going to make this man is telling me or what that politician is telling me.
This connection is so unstable. I thank you for hanging in there, YouTube. I will be getting some new internet next month, so hopefully this won't be so unstable. But if you are new here, I'm just chatting on the phone with my friend Genevieve. There she is. And we are just talking about the energy that's in the air right now and how do we process it and process it in a way where we're not ignoring it or being passive about it, contributing to an upheaval. Well, see, even that sentence, man. right? We might need the upheaval to make the resolution, but not contributing to any harm. I'll put it that way. I wanted to read that Lillian M. says the Black Lives Matter movement is about raising awareness of those voices who have been oppressed for years. Cheers.
Oof.
Yes. No more oppression. Please. No more. Just, I can't even think about it. It just hurts. It's so weird that hurts, but
No, I feel it too.
it just does. Shelley, Maitland said we're going to come to some unpretty thing coming into the near future. This is part of it for sure. Oh, yay. It's okay. Law of Attraction 101. Oh, beyond awareness. And Lillian M says, right, Lillian. Says it can be hard for white folks to understand this because you simply don't have the same experience as Black folk. No, yeah, and we can't. Like, we can't crawl into your skins either. And so we really are approaching these times when we all come together to rely on each race and each individual to be able to speak up and express themselves, and also rely on those ears receiving it to be able to understand or even comprehend what's coming in. So it's not just about being a good explainer, but it's also being a good receiver. And if we can get this together, then I think it'd be pretty spectacular that we don't have anybody that's an underdog or feeling separated for any reason. This is, we were just talking a moment ago, it's tough to have conversations like this because the English words definitely don't support it. I mean, there's 1,000 different ways that you could define what word choice I pick, but only I know what I meant by saying it. And if I'm not responsible enough to slow down and recognize that there could have been a fork in the listening and understanding of what the words are and put another 1,000 words in it for you to understand my definition, I might lose you guys and we might end up on different paths. And as a listener, being able to catch on to tone, intent, and if not understanding, owning up and asking a question and hanging in there without being called to trigger, which is something else that Charles was talking about, the call to trigger, where I don't know if you do this, Genevieve, but like with my kids, they're preteens and teens, there's you hear a certain set of words and you're like, here we go again, like, what do you mean there's no toilet paper? We've been through this. I'll tell you where the toilet paper is. And and I go into an exhaustion mode where I wasn't exhausted 2 seconds before the question came at me. I jumped into a trigger of again, and Charles is like, wanting to backslap me on my cheeks a little bit, step it up. Listen to everything like it's brand new and see how you change and see how much energy you end up with at the end of the day. And my God, I ended up with a whole bunch more, Genevieve. It's crazy.
Wow, that's, yeah. That reminds me of what happens with my husband.
Yeah, we have those kids too. It was crazy. Like, I thought I would be more exhausted because I would have to do more work in pretending like I didn't know where they were coming from when we live in the same house and we're barely ever separated because of we're still like a shelter in place kind of a feel. And it was refreshing and invigorating.
Yeah, because doesn't it takes more energy to work through the muck of the lower vibration of like, oh, I'm irritated, I'm frustrated, with just keeping an open mind and going, okay, let's try this again and let me really listen. Even though it might sound like more work, it actually you're at a different level of, like, it's easy breezy.
Yes, yes. Emma's typing away and she says, if I feel like somebody really needs a hug and they're okay with it, man, I'm going in for a hug.
Yes, me too, Emma.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go,
I'm sorry.
Em.
Yes, yes.
Me too. If they're okay with it, and I know I've been good,
Yes.
I'm going in. Wendy Nelson, can't we all get along? We can. It's just going to take some openness and some vulnerability and some work, and even some admitting you were wrong. And a lot of people have a hard time with that. I like to think I'm an understanding person. I do. I don't know everything. And there's stuff I do which I think is coming from compassion, and my friend will just put a halt on it and go, "What the was that? You were overstepping." I'm like, really? I was unaware of it. And I was unaware of it until you said something. Like, thank God you said something. Like, let's talk about that. Where do you want me to show up? Like this. And I was like, oh my God, I can do that. Thanks. It was perfect. No hard feelings, no nothing. But like, if we don't speak up, we're not going to know. But I think there are other ways to speak up without rioting about it. I love it. Somebody has the Love and Light on YouTube. Love and Light says the change has to begin with us, within us, giving ourselves respect, giving ourselves a voice, etc. Yes. Hearty, heart, heart, heart. Yes. Oh, I don't know, Lillian, on this one. And I definitely don't want to get an argument or discussion. Ones who've taken greedily the power. It looks at the people in power, they're mostly white. That I agree with. I do agree that there's a lot of white folks in power, and I'm not so pleased by it. And there's a lot of white men in power, and I'm not so pleased about that as a woman. And I would love to see that change. But I don't want the white folks to fix it. I'd like for us all to fix it. And I'm hoping I'll get an opportunity one day to contribute to helping others come forward and help fix the systems and structures. But I think to feel like we all have a voice, I'd like to see us all participate, ideally.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do think that there's a lot of apology that needs to be made on the white folks front.
Yes.
And this is generational apology, like reparation stuff. But it would go so much more harmoniously if we were working together to understand exactly where we went wrong, but it starts with forgiveness and apology.
I agree with that. Absolutely. We have a lot of comments. You guys are beautiful. Oh, yes. Lillian, that book is amazing. I have that book. I would recommend the book White Fragility by Robin. I pronounce the name wrong. Diangelo? I don't want to pronounce it wrong. To help you understand the systems in place tremendously. If the title makes you feel uncomfortable, acknowledge it. And no, it's a great title. And it's a fabulous book. And my God, it is like we're about to sit down with a deep view and really help you understand what you know and how you act when you're unconsciously knowing and acting. Yeah, the book is all around try to understand your uncomfortability. My business partner, Corey Dobbins, teaches classes with that book, getting us together. Yes, and try to grow from it. Big hearts. Yes, I'm with you. Oh, I love you too. I love you too. Jamie, yes, deep down, we know we can fix it. That's what faith is all about. I like faith. I like it. But there's a few words out there that I hear and that I use that makes it almost feel ghost-like or too far away. And faith almost fell or I think has fallen into that for me. Do you have those words, Genevieve? You're like, once you get to a certain place, you're like, I'm not using that anymore. I do believe in it, and I have faith in it, but I want to feel it on. I want to feel it on me or in me. I want to make it happen more. That's just me.
Yeah, because trust is like that for me too. It's a similar vein.
B says we all need to raise our vibration to help others raise theirs. Can you ask your guys how we can do that? What's the best way? Oh, that's great. There's so many different ways. I think just educating and understanding more about energy. All life force has energy, and that is a great way to blend life of all kinds kind of in the same umbrella or reach. And that bird is sitting on top of my head. He's joining the live chat. It's so funny. He gets up early in the morning and does this to me. Okay. Getting to know more about subtle energy, I think, would be a great way to raise vibrations and awareness, because it goes beyond color, it goes beyond economy, it goes beyond status, it goes beyond location, it goes beyond age. Like it really blends a lot together. Eric, I love your energy, such a comforting and loving energy. Can't help but be drawn to this YouTube channel. Eric, thank you so much for the donation. That is, I'm very, very touched. That is incredible. Thank you. It will be put to great use. Thank you. Yes, Dee is sharing, I'm a Black woman with a young male child, and I don't want to spiritually bypass this. Oh, I love that. I don't want to spiritually bypass this thing either. No more turning, our heads. No more nothing. Like, I want to hold everybody, dang it.
There's you and that big, big heart.
I know. I would say some other things, but I don't know if YouTube would block me. So I'm trying. You hear a lot of pause in me because I've got some flavorful words that I think Eric Metis would really enjoy to use on this. But Lorena, Jamie, you seem to follow other mentors. Check out Kalina Malnar. All right, let's check her out. Hi, Marta Perez. So guys, thank you for being here. It was really just a chat and a check-in and seeing if you were picking up on the sticky vibrational energy, which can dip our vibrations into sadness, depression, and if you're like me, because I can only speak from the I here in my experiences, which we were just sharing about, that I took it personally and I started looking at what am I depressed in my life? Like I can't get out of my skin and what's happening with me. And really as an empath, as we're all becoming more sensitive, our inner interactions with emotions and feelings and depressions can be reflections of our external world, which doesn't mean what's happening locally in your home or in your immediate community. It could be your city, it could be your state, it could be your country, it could be global, and you're processing that as you little lumineers that hold these big lights, your satellite dishes. You're like walking satellite dishes, and you're constantly picking up energy patterns or signals from other people, from situations, from global consciousness, from mass consciousness. And you're deciphering it. You're collecting that vibration and you're reading it. And if your brain's not on it, it's going to receive it and go, well, I guess it's mine. And it's going to keep it like I did Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I held on to that thickness in the air. And I was like, man, Jamie, you are not doing good coming out of the hole. What is happening? I taught classes on Friday. It was so much fun. I was over like the moon, like soaring, like yay. And then when class was over, it was like 2 hours and I started tanking. And I didn't know how to hold it. And I realized I was processing everything externally much larger than me, and I was making it mine. You don't need to do that. You don't need to make it yours. What needs to happen is to acknowledge it. Don't turn a blind eye. Acknowledge the discomfort. Acknowledge the vibration that is probably wearing on you, and ask yourself, is it mine or not?
That reminds me of that quote, reveal it to heal it.
Ooh, reveal it to heal it. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are beautiful. I love how you put the words to it. What can we do to save the gathering place of the center? Please put it out there. Oh, hi, Susie. I don't know. I've asked that question. When Charles gave me the doozy last week to really look at it, he was sharing with me that, we're going to wake up and we are going to need a place of gathering. And he says that I can find it when I need it, and that we'll put it together, and that it's going to look more global, that it's not going to be so centered and fixed into the ground. So I get that. I'm trying to find a connection to it and excitement because it's not there yet because I'm still processing. But even if we raised the money to have it sit there until community was ready to gather, that might look like spring of 2021. And I don't know if I have the ability, personally to stay in that long. So there's something about the saying goodbye, if that's possible. Guys, I'm negotiating the lease tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. So if you want to send any love, send it then, as I'll be talking to the manager, and then I'll probably have to talk to the leasing agent place as well. I like the idea. Thank you guys so much for offering the GoFundMe and different ways to keep it up and running. But I think for now, as Charles says, there's a change happening. And there's been other ideas. Get this, Genevieve. They were talking about doing online lessons for specific cities. So I sell classes and tickets to Denver, and people only in Denver can sign up. And I can make these goodie boxes and put all like the handouts and the crystals and everything you need, the books and so forth, and I'd ship it to one place, and then you would pick it up from that location, and then you could take that class, and we connect you guys to each other who took the class. So it would open you up to meeting somebody in your community, and that you would be able to continue on hanging out with the people in your community from being in that one class and learning X techniques or whatever it is. I thought that was clever.
That is so incredible, because part of the reason that you meet in person is so that you can find your tribe and your community. So I think that's excellent. That's like, wow.
Yeah, that was a little Maitland.
A Maitland.
Yeah, talk that she gave Colleen and I a few days ago. And I was listening to it. It's like, God, I like that. Because I do want to ship out and, get tangible and link people together. So it's just going to look a little bit different.
You know what's even more exciting about that is that once you've established that, you yourself, when all of this COVID business has slowed down, like you can fly out and just like even rent a little space and meet them and have an in-person channeling or whatever. And you've already created that community in those cities. It's not like you have to go traipsing around,
I know, and now I'll be able to travel more and the communities will be there. So there's that excitement with it too.
Yeah.
Raven.
It's all like coming together.
Raven, thank you so much for the donation. She says, love and prayers at 9 a.m. tomorrow, negotiating the lease, as there's no more financial energy to support it. So it's going to have to twist and turn and show up in a different way. And you're watching somebody like do as they preach, right? Stay in the now, do what's necessary. There's no need to suffer and push and make it happen. And together, guys, we'll look to see what comes of it by allowing this to take place. Because I did give it my solid college try, as they say, and did all the right things per the attorneys and lawyers that I've been speaking to. Isn't that crazy? Oh, Lord. You guys are awesome. Genevieve, is there anything else you want to go over or talk about? Anything hanging?
No, it's just that I know myself and, everybody else here, we acknowledge that all that hard work, all that time, I'm sure there is going to be and is grief about it, but we are here holding your heart while you keep trucking forward. And I don't even want to use the word trucking because it implies that it's going to be hard. It's not going to be hard. You're going to be flying forward.
I can do that. Let's fly forward. We're going to fly forward together. Seer E.S. Jones says, that is a great idea because we are here from all over the world. So let's do that from all over the world. I know. Italy, you've just been on my list to go teach a class. We have so many luminaires over there.
I'm in your suitcase.
Yes, come. Right? Why not?
Yes.
That Brazil, I've wanted to do that so much. So maybe because the center is shifting and loosening, we can fly forward in a different way. We'll watch it. Let's watch it together. We'll keep our finger on the pulse. Carol just donated. It is the cutest icon on a rocket flying forward. Thank you so much, Carol. Thank you.
I just got that image, from Aladdin, A Whole New World, where they're on the magic carpet.
Now I'm
and it's like a whole new world. And you're like flying through. It's going to be fantastic. I just know it.
Does it come with the genie? Because that'd be cool.
Yes. He's sitting on the edge, the big blue Robin Williams genie.
Oh, I love him. Stacy says people could donate frequent flyer miles so Jamie could travel. That is so cool. I've never thought about anything like that. I've always just hustled to save and make it work. I love you guys. Thank you for being willing enough, open enough just to show up and hang, do your beautiful self, feeding your soul or on point or challenging you a little bit. It's reconnecting. I'm unstable. I like it when it says, you are unstable. No, it says your internet is unstable. But I always read it as, you are unstable. I'm like, maybe? I don't know. No.
You're like, how do you know YouTube?
YouTube is psychic. No. Genevieve, thank you so much for being here. And
it was so fun. Thank you. Anytime.
Hanging and listening. That was pretty cool. And to all of you luminaires out there, thank you so much for being you, for choosing to shine your light, for listening, for, as Lillian was saying, to stay, and acknowledge your uncomfortableness with what's happening. Please don't turn the other way. Let's not do that anymore. Let's open our hearts, our arms, our ears, and let's see what can come from just contributing rather than believing that somebody else has it and somebody else is going to handle it, or because it's not in my backyard, it's okay. We're all feeling it energetically. See what we can do. Love you, Marta and Jamie, Wendy, you guys are awesome. Ed, Connie, you guys are wonderful. Hi, Valerie. Valerie says, your energy is so bright it interrupts the electrical fields. I tried to watch a live stream I did the other day and it was embarrassing how much it was pixelated. That is not the beauty I like to put forth, but while this is happening, we'll take what we can get and maybe new place. I'll plug into the internet and won't be so crazy. All right. Bye, Loomies. Remember, say it, Genevieve.
It's not woo-woo.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Be well. And Marnie Mouse, welcome to Lumivolve. Enjoy the June energy message, Lumivolves and Lumi Centers. It is up right now. You can go and watch it and see what's happening in June. And I'll be back on check in a few days. I'll let you know how Monday at 9 o'clock happens. Bye, guys. Oh, it keeps pixelating.